Let's take a look at this problem. We got cosine alpha is equal to 1/3. And this will be in quadrant. Let me see, alpha is between 0 and pi over 2. So that's in quadrant 1. And then we got sine beta is equal to negative 1/2. And this will be in the quadrant from negative pi over 2 to 0, which will be the fourth quadrant. And we want to find tangent alpha plus beta. If we look at our formula, it's in the sum identities, the tangent. We're going to replace the x with alpha and the y with beta, but here's our formula. So this is going to become tangent alpha plus tangent beta over 1 minus tangent alpha tangent beta. Well, we need tangent alpha and tangent beta, so let's find those. First, let's look at alphas. They tell us cosine alpha is equal to 1 over 3. Remember, cosine is x over r. So we need to find y. So I got x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. So, x is 1. So we got 1 squared plus y squared is equal to 3 squared. So 1 plus y squared is equal to 9. Take the 1 over, and we got y squared is equal to 9 minus 1, or y squared is equal to 8. Now, square root property. We drop our squared, we put a plus or minus square root on the other side. Now, it's in quadrant 1, and everything's positive in quadrant 1. So I drop the negative and keep the positive. And square root of 8 simplifies to 2 square root of 2. Now, tangent alpha is going to equal to y over x, which will be 2 square root of 2 over 1, which is simply 2 square root of 2. Well, now let's look at betas. They tell us that sine beta is equal to negative 1/2. Sine is y over r, so we need to find x. So I got x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. So we got x squared plus negative 1 squared equals 2 squared. So I got x squared plus 1 is equal to 4. Take the 1 over, becomes a negative 1. And we get x squared is equal to 3. Square root property. You drop your squared, you put a plus or minus square root on the other side. But in quadrant 4, our x values are positive. So we're going to drop the negative and keep positive square root of 3. Now tangent beta, that's equal to y over x. Y we said was negative 1 over x, which is square root of 3. Now we don't want a square root in the denominator, so we'll multiply top and bottom by the square root of 3. We get negative square root of 3 over 3. Well, now we're ready to plug this into our formula. Tangent alpha was 2 square root of 2 plus tangent beta, which is negative square root of 3 over 3, over 1 minus tangent alpha, which is 2 square root of 2, times tangent beta, which is negative square root of 3 over 3. Now we want to simplify that. So we've got 2 square root of 2 minus square root of 3 over 3, then over 1, and negative times negative is positive. Those, let me see, negative times negative is positive, and then 2 just carries along, I guess. Square root of 2 times square root of 3 gives us square root of 6 over 3. Okay. Now we want to get rid of the fraction within the fraction, so we're going to multiply everything by the LCM of all our inner denominators. And when I say inner denominators, I'm talking about the fraction side of the fraction. So those would be our inner denominators. Well, the LCM of those would be 3, so I'm going to multiply everything by 3. So I'm going to take 3 times 2 square root of 2 minus 3 times square root of 3 over 3 over 3 times 1 and 3 times 2 square root of 6 over 3. Well, 3 times 2 is 6. We've got 6 square root of 2. Those 3's cancel, so we've got minus square root of 3. Down here we got 3, and those 3's cancel, and we got 2 square root of 6. Now we can't have the radical down below, so we're going to multiply a top and bottom by the conjugate of the bottom, which would be 3 minus 2 square root of 6. Remember the conjugate, first part's the same, last part's the same, sign in the middle's different. Now up on top, we're going to take 6 square root of 2 times 3. We're going to take 6 square root of 2 times negative 2 square root of 6. We'll take negative square root of 3 times 3, and we'll take negative square root of 3 times negative 2 square root of 6. All over, let me just double check something here. 6 square root of 2 times that, okay. All over, 3 times 3 is 9, minus 2 times 2 is 4, and square root of 6 times square root of 6 is 6. So that's going to give us 18 square root of 2. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. And then 2 times 6 inside the square root. Minus 3 square root of 3. Negative times a negative is positive. 2. And then square root of 3 times square root of 6 gives us square root of 3 times 6. Over 9 minus 24. So that gives us 18 square root of 2 minus 12. 2 times 6, that's 2 times 2 times 3. Minus 3 square root of 3. Plus 2, and then 3 times 6. 6 is 3 times 2. All over negative 15. So I got 18 square root of 2. Here I'll bring this pair of 2's out, so that gives us negative 24 square root of 3. Minus 3 square root of 3. And here I'll bring the pair of 3's out. That gives me 6 out in front. Square root of 2. Over negative 15. Now we want to combine together the ones that have the same radicals. So here's 18 plus 6, which is 24 square root of 2. And here's my square root of 3's. Negative 24, negative 3 gives us negative 27 square root of 3. All over negative 15. Well, I could factor a negative 3 out of the top, and that would give us a negative 8 square root of 2 plus 9 square root of 3 over negative 15. I'm going to flip the top parts around. The negative 3 will cancel the negative 15. So the top part's flipped around gives us 9 square root of 3 minus 8 square root of 2 over, and negative 15 divided by negative 3 gives us a positive 5. So that would be our answer.